So weird. Okay, this is a story about the first college house I had. 1255 Linden Drive, Concord, California, when I was attending Diablo Valley College. It's a junior college. I was 18 when we got the place and then turned 19 about 2 months later. But it was basically a 5 bedroom house, older, with 2,000 square feet of basically living area. And we had the best of times and the worst of times there. How we came about getting the place was because I was living with my aunt. When I graduated high school and I came out to California, I got an offer to stay with my aunt and her family. And I met Bill, Mike, Eric, Jeff, Jose, Joe, a myriad of people that kind of came through the house. We had one room that was rotating. That was the pink room. And it was initially we got it because Eric was supposed to move into it. And then he wound up getting, his dad got a 2 bedroom and offered for him to stay for free and go to college and stay with him. And he didn't have to pay rent and whatever. So, and then Eric got all the benefits of coming over and partying. But what happened was because of that was why we got a 5 bedroom and we rotated. It was the smallest room. It was pink. It had like pink flowered wallpaper. And then I think either 2 or 3 of the walls, I think it was pink flowered wallpaper with white. And then 3 of the walls were pink. And it was just like pink room. And then we had like the front of the house where it was Bill, Stewart, and then the pink room. And then Bill had his own bathroom. He had the master bathroom. And then we had one bathroom that the other 4 of us shared. And then we had the kitchen, the family room, and then the living room was right as soon as you walked into the house. And then there was 2 rooms and a garage to the back and to the left of the house. And I had the room that basically was in the back, in between the back room and the living room, which Jeff had the far back room. He had to either go through a slider to get out. It was like an atrium area that was covered, but you had to come in through that side or he had to come through my room. And for like the first 5 months, it was okay for him to come through. And finally I was just like, dude. And I fucking backed off and like put my bed against the door. And then when Stuart moved out, I moved to the front of the house. Anyways, how we got the place was because we were causing too much havoc at Bill's progressive apartment complex. Bill and Stuart lived together originally. And what happened was Bill was friends with Eric. I was friends with Jeff. And all 4 of us went out on a bowling excursion and then basically just camped out. Like we had such a good time. We're bowling, driving around in my Mustang, 68 Mustang Fastback. We go bowling and Bill calls home and realizes there's 2 girls at his apartment. And so it's 4 guys that are out hanging out and then Stuart's there. And we haven't met Stuart yet. And Stuart was like the computer geek that was like heck dude, guy kind of stuff where it was like he was just off, but good guy, but just off. Anyways, he says there's 2 girls over here. And so Bill kind of hangs up the phone and he goes, I got, 2 girls at my apartment. One's for me. You guys can fight over the other girl. So we don't know what she looks like. And we're getting back in the car and Eric goes, I'm just going to go home. I was like, why, dude? And he's like, because it's like there's 3 guys and 1 leftover girl. And I'm like, dude, the fun is one of the guys is going to get the girl and the other 2 are going to get to fuck with them the whole night. So we went back and basically she turned out to be kind of butt ugly. And Jeff was basically digging on her and Eric and I just got drunk and fucked off and, fucked around and just kind of busted balls. But we wound up staying, it was like the 3rd or 4th floor of this big U-shaped progressive apartment complex off of Contra Costa Boulevard near Sun Valley Mall. And basically what happened was we like ran out when Bill was at work. We ran out skinny dipping, everybody's up top drinking. Eric climbs up on the roof with a fucking commando knife on his, we might have been up on the 5th floor or 6th floor, but he climbs up on the roof in a commando style tactic, drunk, but with a fucking like commando Rambo knife in his mouth. And Jeff and I run down to the pool, jump in, like skinny dip and take our clothes off, jump in, get out, go back upstairs. And I guess they'd called the landlord while we were there, and she comes out and we're gone. Well, we're fucking drunk and stupid and young, so we decide to come back. And like 10 minutes into us whooping and wallering, skinny dipping it again, we see this older, I mean, she was pretty, but older landlady, like, 36, 40-ish, kind of in there, MILF. She's like, okay, boys, out of the pool. We're like, oh, hi, Leslie. Well, if you turn around, we can get out because our swim trunks were on the side of the pool or blah, 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 blah. And as she's walking us back up to the apartment, she's like, do you guys know that if you wouldn't have come back, I wouldn't have been able to catch you or whatever. We're like, yeah, sorry about that. I mean, we were just dumb. But what happened was we caused enough ruckus that she literally approached Bill and said, look, it's either you need to get new friends or you need to get a new apartment. And so we went and started shopping for apartments altogether, and we got Linden Drive, and it was 6 months of heaven and 6 months of hell. But best of times, worst of times. It's one of those times in your life that everything kind of just fit together and you didn't realize how cool of a situation you had. I started going over, because I want to write a movie novelette about the whole year that we were there. And I mean, when we left, it was like we were just dying to get out, and we came back, and I remember like doorknobs being ripped off because people were locking doors and people trying to get into them on the inside of the house and all that. And it was just not pure anarchy, but it was just like a whole different, we had matured, and everybody kind of like started to go like separate themselves because we knew we were on the way out. And Bill and I and Susie wound up getting an apartment later on. But Susie was a girlfriend that basically came in and lived with me in my room for the last couple months before we moved out. And my first like hardcore heavy love. And it was just, like I said, the worst of times and then the best of times. So, it was 1255 Linden Drive, 1986 to 1987. So I was going over the music selection last night because it's like the Beastie Boys were big when we were in the apartment. Our house song was "Can Your Pussy Do the Dog" by the Cramps. I was just listening to that last night, and then Violent Femmes. Like 3 of the songs, Blister, Added Up, and Kiss Off Into the Sun. Blister in the Sun, Kiss Off, and then Added Up were basically the 3 songs that were, I mean, it was just playing during that time. And then the following year, it's like U2's Joshua Tree came out and INXS's Kick. So it was just, Stand By Me came out while we were living there. Top Gun, I remember having a Top Gun poster because it came out. So, I mean, it was just like, and we were just all gelled and spritz forte'd and, living in Northern California and just great time. So, anyways, that's my college house story, and I may follow it up because Jeff had a big dick. Mike was really good looking, but basically had issues meeting girls, and we had stories with that. And then basically just the parties that happened at the house and the fact that we just constantly had girls over. It was just one of those things that there was always something going on, and just fun times. So anyways, that's the college house story, 1255 Linden Drive.